Welcome back to the channel. We're going to do a little bit of a review on this helmet, the Icon Airflite. We'll just go over a few of the features here at the table, and then we'll go on the bike and talk a little bit about it. As you see, I have the iridium shield on here, which I love this for day and nighttime riding. We also have the flip visor so that when it's really bright, I don't ride with that too much anymore. I use my sunglasses underneath here when I'm riding because I like to flip up a lot for ventilation purposes, which we will go about that. But let me take this helmet off and then we will go over the features and be right back. So first thing we'll go over is the design. As you can tell, this has a pretty sleek, unique design about it. It's very aerodynamic with, you have a little deflector on the rear, which are interchangeable. They also make a top piece that runs through here that helps channel air. More so probably if you're riding sports bikes. So the helmet does come with two visors. This one came with the clear and then this gold iridium. I like that whole full face view, which you see you have your vents here that helps block your air, or excuse me, helps air flow through or block the air depending on the time of year, with a switch up underneath this chin guard, chin curtain. So there's a switch right here, open, close, 3 positions. And then you have your top vents here, closed, open. Now I will tell you the airflow in this helmet is not the greatest, especially in summer heat when it's 100+ degrees outside. So in the summertime, I ride a lot like this till probably about 55 miles per hour. Then I'll shut it just to get the airflow, keep the sweat off of my face. Very easy to change out the visors. Pop these off. Lift your helmet, line up the tabs. Going back on is just as easy as taking it off. Line the tabs back up again. And it's a lot easier when you are actually looking at the helmet. These go back on. Oh, look at the helmet, because it makes it so much simpler. And they go a certain way. Now I will say that these things will fly off your helmet if you don't resecure them properly. They do come off, I know, because I lost one, but luckily they're easy to replace and find. Next feature, you have removable liners. You also have interchangeable cheek pad size. So this helmet is actually a medium. I changed my cheek pads to a large because the medium cheek pads, when I would take the helmet off, felt like it was trying to rip my ears off with the helmet. So that is a plus on the removable cheek pads. Not a plus on ripping your ears off. Next you have speaker pockets inside, which to me sat kind of back behind my ears. So I ended up going in and modifying mine to move them up. I just took a razor blade and kind of traced out where that speaker was and move them forward. Now I will tell you, this helmet is not the quietest helmet. I've seen some reviews online, some people, I don't know like what their hearing level is, but I don't have the greatest hearing, and I can hear just fine until I get on highway speeds, and it washes out the speakers, but it is very, very noisy. So that's something to consider if you're looking at this helmet, which is I would consider like a mid-range priced helmet. Bang for the buck, it's pretty good. I'd give it slightly above average. Look-wise, definitely a 10. I get a lot of compliments on this helmet, and being a painter, I'm asked all the time if I painted this helmet, and I have not. This is the El Centro. It comes in this color, and also comes in a black and gold. One other thing that I would say was probably not a positive is if you want to put a communication Bluetooth device on this helmet, it is very thick right through here, which makes the clamp-on portion of the mount very difficult. So what I ended up doing on mine is doing the stick-on. And you're kind of limited the height you can go because there's this ridge right here. So if you want to go higher, and obviously you can't go any lower, but then you're running the risk. But this is the 10C Evo, so it's the camera, so I can only go a certain movement on this helmet where my camera line of sight is still good. So that's pretty much the tabletop portion of this review. So let's go on the bike and talk a little bit more about this helmet. Stay tuned, we'll get that loaded up.
So this would be the riding portion, some of the riding portion. This is basically like low speed. We're doing like 40 right now. And at these types of speeds, this helmet really isn't super loud. I can hear enough around me. I can hear the wind. I can hear my bike, but it's not terrible. It's not real, the buffing is real not bad. I don't have, so there's a front vent in here. So right in here, there's a front vent, which you open from up underneath. I typically keep it closed for recording because my mic sits right behind there, and it's just easier not to get too much wind noise. I don't know when we set this light, too much wind noise from it. So it does have the two upper vents, which do seem to do pretty well in the Houston weather in the summertime. It is a fairly, I don't know if it's really, I would consider it hot only because the climate that I ride in, you know, most of the time, like today it's like 80 something out and it's not bad. Behind us bozo. But one thing I don't like about this helmet is the speaker pockets, for me, seem to be behind my ear. So it does get washed out as I'm riding. Lower speeds, not too bad. Highway speeds, it gets really really washed out because this sucker is a pretty decent level of wind when you actually are riding it. Now I've seen some videos where people say it's not that loud. Well, I'm sorry, the helmet, if you're going 40 miles an hour backcountry roads, it's not that loud. If you're doing Houston traffic speeds of, you know, Mach 10 to 15 miles an hour or above posted speed limit signs so you get run over, it's loud. But that's one thing I know, like if you got GPS in, sometimes you cannot hear the GPS, even turned all the way up on the phone and on my Cena. I cannot hear. Hot pursuit. Like a canine unit. Okay, anyway. As far as weight goes, it's moderate. It's not extremely heavy. I've got some friends that they really like this helmet, and they've looked at them, and they said they didn't like the weight. And I'll post the weight on here, but to me, it's not that bad. I can ride all day with it, and I don't really have any shoulder pain, neck pains, headaches, or anything like that from it. So to me, it's not that bad. I mean, yes, obviously there's lighter helmets. You could always go the carbon fiber route as well, but that's that's more money, and it's sometimes it goes down to taste. Styling wise, this freaking helmet to me rocks. I mean, it just feels like it fits my personality. Now, there's two versions of this helmet, or at least there used to be for the 2021. So there was this one, and then there was the black and gold one. I wanted something more vibrant that just stood out because my bike, with the gold flake and the blue in my bike and the blue in my helmet, I just felt like it would be a little bit better match. So when I bought it, it comes with the two visors. You got the clear shield, and then it comes with this gold. And I ride with the gold 100% of the time. Even at night riding, that the gold to me, this is me, provides enough. I can see, it's slightly dimmer, but I can see perfectly riding at night with this. And when I ride to work in the morning, it's it's like 0430, so it's still dark out, and I can see perfectly. And I ride through a lot of low light areas, so it's not an issue. But they are interchangeable, easy to swap out, and then you do have your drop down, which is a very easy control. It's easy to find. It's right there, and the slider works flawlessly. I haven't had any issues with it, and I've been riding with this helmet the past year, and I have I don't know, 8,000-9,000 miles on it easily on this helmet. So I have feel like I have a little bit of some knowledge on how this thing works. Now, one thing I did do first off the bat when I got this helmet was I did change out the cheek pads. So I have a weird head shape. It's kind of small for my body, I guess, maybe. But so I went with a medium helmet. But right off the bat, putting the helmet on and off, I felt like it was trying to cut my ears off. Now, most of you may know I'm an airbrush artist, so I really still didn't feel like doing the old Vincent Van Gogh treatment on myself. So I went and threw the large cheek pads on here, which cost me like an extra $25 from Revzilla. Awesome. Shipped it to me. I had it like in 2 days pretty much. Super quick change out. Took all maybe 5 minutes from mailbox to completing. And it's a world of difference. Changed the way the helmet felt. Very comfortable to me. Still fits super snug enough for me where I have no movement going back and forth, up and down. So really, style-wise, this helmet, I give it a 10. I love it even more than one of the other more popular mail order helmets out there. Style-wise, I think it still looks way better. I wish they could make this design in a modular helmet, which I'm sure with this face shield is probably way impossible to do. That's why I don't have one. But that is probably the downfall on this helmet, because the way it's kind of designed, it's almost kind of like that motocross look. When you have the shield up, you have this covering your whole face. You are not stopping to get any type of drinks at red lights. You can't really fit a camelback straw down through there that will work with any type of effectiveness. And going up through is going to really give you some discomfort, because you do have the chin curtain here, which helps a lot with wind deflection. So summer riding this helmet is not the greatest if you're going on long rides and you need to hydrate. It's a little harder to do. So that would be one of my cons on this thing, would be wind noise and ease of getting a drink while riding in warmer weather. Cool weather, this thing works pretty awesome. I really don't have issues. I will wear like a baklava when riding in the cooler weather, and it, you know, and basically that's more to keep wind off of my neck. But let me see, price point, it's right there, kind of like in your you know, it's not super cheap. It's definitely not expensive. It's probably more in your lower end of your mid prices. But and they do have like all kinds of different designs, which is pretty cool. They have one like the Master Chief looking one. Obviously this one, they have a bunch of different ones. I mean, I don't know, you can't go wrong with them. And you know, I get a lot of compliments on it, so obviously that's a plus too. People see it, and I think those are like my major things as far as when it comes to pros and cons on this thing. Which is another thing I should, you know, we'll say it right here. Filming from this helmet doesn't give you a whole lot of options. You know, a lot of YouTubers will use that front-facing camera, and they do make a clip that fits in here in your vents, but you raise and lower your visor, your camera's looking at everything but your field of view. You can go off to the side like I have a Cena, so you can go off to the side. You could put it on top, but you're really kind of limited. And I know a lot of people really focus on that. Like, you know, it's kind of like that first-person view. So I guess that could be one of the I guess disadvantages on this helmet. If you know, if you're a moto vlogger, this is probably not going to be one that you may want to go with, but I use it just fine. Alright gang, so there is my review on the Icon Airflite El Centro helmet. And I know it went a little long, but thanks for tuning in. Until next time, rock on.